Welcome to Myk my 2021 AFL team preview show. I'm going to run through each team and where I think they will finish on the Premiership ladder, and also tell some stories about each team, the ins and outs, etc. Well, it is here, the magnificent Sharon, the Aussie rules football, and the season starts on Thursday, March 18th. Now let's go to last night, where I'm at the Duck Lake in Edmonton, where I go on Game Time Decisions, Sports Grid New York, TV, radio, Sirius XM Channel 204, doing NFL and AFL picks, and I run through the new rule changes in this season and also my first 3 team previews. Enjoy. Welcome to Myk here from the Duck Lake in Edmonton. And my last show here 2 weeks ago on Game Time Decisions, you would have seen me serving at that sign. You see that sign there? The duck sign. I did some tennis serves at it. I got so close. I missed him twice. I missed it by like that far. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. But we're here to talk AFL, and the season starts on Thursday, March the 18th. Can't wait. Big game between the reigning premiers, Richmond Tigers, and the Carlton Blues. But let's quickly run through some of the new rules this year. The interchange rotations have gone from 90 down to 75. So that's the amount of rotations you can make interchange coming on and off. The man kicking out from goal, well, he can now run out an extra 5 metres, because the guy standing at the end of the goal square will now be 15 metres back from the end of the goal square. But the big one that is causing some controversy, but I think it will be good, because last night the Carlton Blues played the St Kilda Saints and it was a high-scoring game. The man standing the mark cannot move. If he moves, he will be penalised 50 metres. That's a huge advantage to the team with the ball. He can only stand in the spot, and then the umpire will let him know when he can move from that spot. So thus, it will create a lot more running on. So if I've got the ball, I can run around the guy in the mark, I can handball it, I can move the ball quicker, and thus hopefully the AFL will be back to higher scoring. Now my previews, I'm going to do a 2-minute, 20-second show on each team, and I'll start with the final 8, who I think will make the 8 coming up. The 8th place team, who will it be? Well, there's several teams that I believe might make the 8th spot, but let's go with the Greater Western Sydney Giants. They made the grand final in 2019, but got absolutely smashed by the Richmond Tigers, 17-12 to 3-7. They came 10th last year. I believe they can bounce back. They have lost several players, including the star, the number 1 draft pick, Jeremy Cameron, long-time Giants player since their inaugural year in 2011. He has gone to the Geelong Cats. Very favourite player of mine. He had a down year last year, but look for him to be a loss. But hopefully, Jesse Hogan, the Hogs, at full forward, can bounce back after time at the Fremantle Dockers. Before he was at the Melbourne Demons, he's had a bit of off-field trouble, but half of that's exaggerated with the bullshit media and the woke snowflake T-nut world we're in. So Jesse Hogan, he's not too bad of a lad. Hopefully the Sydney quiet life for AFL players will benefit Jesse Hogan. They have also lost Zach Williams to the Blues. But they're on-ball players. I believe they still have a very good on-ball amount of players, which will be key in the new, faster style of play in the AFL this year. Some of their on-ballers, we got fantastic players in Cornelio. Let's have trouble with that word. Cornelio, the captain. Josh Kelly, fantastic player in the midfield. De Boer, don't you love that name? He sounds like a bull and he is a terrier. He's a very good tagger. And of course we have little Toby Green. So look for the GWS Giants to bounce back and hopefully make the 8. Now the GWS, they were odds of 19-1 to win the premiership. I picked them at 8th. Now the 7th team, I believe the St Kilda Saints will again make the finals. I believe the new style of more quicker play with the new rules will help the Saints. They're a fast running team. They came 6th last year. They beat the Dogs in the first final, but then they were beaten by the Richmond Tigers. But a much improved team. I like their coach, Bratton, the former coach of the Carlton Blues. He will discipline these guys. They have a good on-ball presence, boosted by Adelaide's Brad Crouch. He got in a little bit of trouble for something he shouldn't have been sniffing or taken over the off-season. He got in a little bit of drug trouble, but he's a good lad. He will learn from that experience of getting caught by the police. Brad Crouch to the Saints. They've also gained Frawley from the Hawks, Jack Higgins from the Tigers, and Mason Wood from the Roos, McKernan from the Bombers. A couple of losses, but if they continue to improve, they will make a run, and they are 15-1 to win the premiership right now, the St Kilda Saints. They've only won one premiership in their history, and that was in 1966 in the VFL. Oh, if they get some club culture going, and I believe Bratton could be the guy for that. But if they, if they've enjoyed this little bit of success, and if they've been out in the town and it gets to their head and maybe they've been banging some hotter chicks than normal, well, that might be a detriment. Injuries as well could cost them. But if the Saints stay reasonably healthy and fit and maintain building on last year, look for the Saints to make the 8 and maybe, hey, put a few bucks on them to win it all. I don't think they will, but they're a chance. Well, I'm at the Duck Lake here in Edmonton, but I tell you what, I might call it the Dog Walking Lake, because this guy just walked past this big friggin' Doberman, and he kind of launched at me a little bit, but the owner got a little bit upset, so you just got to be careful. You never know. I love dogs. I hate dogs. Dogs to me are like humans. You love some, you hate some, so the owner's got to be careful what they do. Anyway, let's get on to the West Coast Eagles. Oh, they got 1 more or 2 years more left in them, maybe, with the current squad. I believe they will make the finals, and I've tipped them in 6th position. Their premierships, they won 4 flags in 93, 94, 2006 and 2018 when they beat the Collingwood Magpies just in that great grand final. They have great on-ball players, many of them. Oh, we got Gaff, we got Shoe, we got Yo, we got Kelly, we got Nick Nat Nui and Ruck, fantastic. We got Sheed, we got Kennedy still at full forward. We got McGovern and Barras in defence, and Luhan is in his last year, I believe. So look for the Eagles to again make the 8. They got to move the ball a bit quicker out of defence, but their on-ballers are very good, and Kennedy's still good up forward. Coached by Adam Simpson. Oh, they've lost a couple, have gained a couple, not much change. But hopefully Willie Rioli's been suspended, I believe, for 2 years, maybe 3. A decision is coming down because Willie Rioli, well, he didn't stick his willy in the right spot. He actually substituted his urine sample with something else, and it wasn't pure urine. So Willie needs to stick his willy where it's meant to go, and he is suffering 2 years or more out of the game. He might be back this year. He's a great little player in the forward lines. West Coast Eagles at 8-1 again should make the finals. They have an advantage playing in the West. But COVID, let's hope COVID doesn't ruin the season. Well, that was a lot of fun at the Duck Lake, but seriously, that Doberman got close. If it got a few more centimetres closer to me, I would have had a real go at the owner. But hey, talking about dogs, this is one team, that dogs I do like, the Western Bulldogs. I am picking them to finish 5th in the AFL 2021 season. They were last premiers in 2016, a fantastic win over the Sydney Swans. They were underdogs. Well, they have gained this season the champ, the former GWS Giants, and then Collingwood Magpie champ, Adam Treloar. I'm a big fan of Adam Treloar. I believe he's one of the best players in the AFL. Some slight injury concerns, but if he has a big year, the Western Bulldogs, formerly Footscray Bulldogs, can have a very good season and again make the finals. Oh, they're led by the legend Marcus Bontempelli. He's a fantastic on-baller, so him and Treloar should get a lot of the football this season. They've also gained Stephen Martin in ruck. He comes across from the Brisbane Lions. Mitch Hannon from the Demons out. They've only really lost one player, Lockie Young, but he didn't play too many games. Quite a few players have been delisted. So again, I like the Bulldogs to play well. They need more from Bruce up forward. Aaron Norton is a star young forward as well. Watch for him. Oh, Tony Liberatore is a champ. Caleb Daniel, Josh Dunkley. Let's hope Lockie Hunter can get back to a decent year after getting in trouble. He was more than 2 times over the limit, drunk, hit 4 cars, did a runner, so he got in trouble. So he's got to learn from that crazy mistake. And the team is led by one of the best names in AFL, Luke Beveridge. So let's go and have some beverages, have some beers, some spirits, some wine, whatever you want. And I believe the Western Bulldogs fans might be celebrating this year. This show is also brought to you by Total CFL. Grey Cups in the CFL is fantastic. Let's now go to some highlights of my movie, Football Fan Frenzy, from the Grey Cup, where I meet and chat with the real Pamela Anderson.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Pamela definitely got a bit of a pattern at the same time. I've been sticking by a stamp. Oh, you're unbelievable. Welcome to the Lions Party.
The famous Pamela Anderson is now in the parade. How you going, gorgeous? Hey, you still look great. You still look beautiful. How you going?
Put some clothes on her.
Oh, I'm keeping you warm. It's all good.
Well, there you go. That counts as a conversation with the real Pamela Anderson.
All right, this show is also on podcast, poddy or podcast. Podcast, as the Americans say. Oh yeah, by the way, this show is mainly geared to international, new and existing AFL Aussie Rules football fans. So I'm going to try and teach you some of the best players to follow and some of the good things about each team. So yes, search on Myk Aussie, that's MYK Aussie, as you'll see up there, on Spotify, Castbox, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts for this podcast and many more. Now, let's go back out into Edmonton to one of my favourite spots for filming. Oh, the magnificent plane in the background, and I'll continue with my AFL 2021 team previews up to number 4. Welcome to MyKaussie.tv here at the Alberta Aviation Museum in Edmonton, one of my favourite places to film. And yes, Mr. Donald Trumpy, he liked it here as well for Halloween. And for all you snowflake, woke, whinging teen-ucks, I never gave my opinion whether I liked or disliked Mr. Donald Trumpy. All I did was dress up as him, so there you go. Take that. Now, my AFL 2021 previews continue, and we are up to the top 4. 4th place, I am going for the runners-up from last year, the Geelong Cats. And as you'll see, I'm wearing the South Gawler Lions jersey from 1992, and that is the style of the Geelong Cats. They got a bit darker blue, but it's close enough. So, they were runners-up last year. They lost the grand final in the second half. They played well in the first half. Will the new rule of the quicker play benefit or disadvantage the Cats? Doubtful. Thus, I went for them to drop a bit. I think their team is older, and I'm not sure if they'll adapt to the quicker style of football with the new man on the mark rule. I might be totally wrong. They have recruited well. New, of course, is Jeremy Cameron, the champion from Gws Giants. So he'll line up at centre-half forward with Tommy Hawkins at full forward. So a potential high-scoring, great forward line there. They've also got Sean Higgins from the Kangaroos. He's a good player. And Isaac Smith from the Hawks. So they have recruited well. They have, of course, lost the little champ, Gary Ablett Jr. He's a legend, one of the greatest players of all time. Fantastic career. Oh, let's see who else. Jack Stevens retired after coming across from the Saints and getting stabbed by his girlfriend, alleged girlfriend, whatever happened there. Good luck to the Cats. I hope they do well. I'm tipping them to come fourth. And third, I am going for the Brisbane Lions. Oh, they might make the grand final. They got a great team. I picked the Cats at fourth, and the Cats' odds are about 5.5 to 1 to win the premiership. Well, the Lions are right now at about 7 to 1. Not a bad bet. They have, of course, recruited the Essendon Bomber, fantastic forward Joe Danaher. Very injury prone. He's looking good apparently early in the season. So if Joe Danaher can stay fit, the Lions are a big chance to go one step further because they got beaten by the Geelong Cats last year and then the Cats went on to the grand final. Of course, the reigning Brownlow medalist is Lachie Neale from South Australia. He gets a lot of the ball and he uses it very, very well. You got Harris Andrews in the back line, another star. Oh, Charlie Cameron, who came across from the Crows. Damn, how they not keep Charlie Cameron. He is a star lately, Charlie Cameron. You got Hipworth. You got Cameron Wayner. Lachie Neale, as I said. Oh, look for the Lions. Here we go. The Lions, South Gawler Lions. Look for the Lions to have another great season. Home field advantage is good for them. They won 3 flags back in the early 2000s, and I tell you what, they might get another one this year. Lions, good chance, good depth, injuries will kill them. Do they have the experience to take it one step further? Maybe, but I'm tipping them to come third this year. Good luck to the Brisbane Lions. Well, let's continue my AFL 2021 predictions. I've gone from number 8 to 3. Well, now let's go all the way to the bottom. I'm predicting the North Melbourne Kangaroos to come 18th this season. They've won 4 premierships. The fans might just want to watch the replays. 75, 77, 96 and 99 they won. Oh, legends like the Cracker brothers, Ross Clendenning, Keith Gregg, and of course Malcolm Blight, who coached and played for the Woodville Warriors and the Packers and then coached the Coes. He's a legend. North Melbourne are in big, big trouble. They have gained Jaden Stevenson, the betting guy, got caught betting and was suspended from the Magpies. He's come across. Oh, they're in trouble. They've also lost Sean Higgins, Mason Wood, but the big loss, Ben Brown, the star forward, injury prone, but he has gone to the Demons. Who they got left? They got a few good players, including Jed Anderson, but he's got one of the worst little trendy haircuts ever. I don't like these trendy haircuts, but he can play. Jared Pollock, the former Port Adelaide Pap Smears power player, will he bounce back after getting dropped last year? He's on big money. The captain, Jack Siebel, can play. Todd Goldstein in ruck, but their best player, I believe, with one of the best names in sport. Wait for it. It's Ben Cunnington. No, it's not Ben Cunninglingus or Ben Cunnington. It's Ben Cunnington. That's true. Cunnington is his name. He's a bit injury prone with bad back, but he is tough. He is mean. So North Melbourne Roos fans, you got a great name. Everyone loves the Kangaroos, but sadly, I see you being really bad this year, unfortunately. Maybe a move to Tasmania might help save the Kangaroos. Kangaroos were dying in the desert in Australia in the drought, but sadly, the North Melbourne Kangaroos, I believe, will finish bottom. I hope not. I like the Kangaroos, but they're in big, big trouble. AFL previews continue. And is it a magpie? Is it a magpie? No, Fremo, I won't go that bad. But you're wondering where I'll put your magpies, aren't you? I didn't have them between 3 and 8. Well, unfortunately, I believe the Adelaide Crows, the once great Adelaide Crows, premiers in 97 and 98, I believe they'll have a shocker, unfortunately. Oh, let's reminisce. 97, we went across for the prelim final. We drove across from Adelaide with Philip Martle and Paul. And then we went back for the grand final to see the Crows win their first flag. It was great sitting there in the MCG with Amato and Puddles. It was fantastic. And then in 98, my first year in Canada, I was in Toronto and I stayed up real late and we seen them beat the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Oh, the days, 97 and 98. Well, we come runners up in 2017 before we were beaten bad in the second half of that grand final by the Richmond Tigers. Oh, Crows, eh? Well, we've got a few good players left. Who we got, eh? New players. Hazeley and Hingy. Not much there. Losses. Brad Crouch, the troubled Brad Crouch, got caught with a few drugs. He's gone to the Saints. Atkins has gone to the Suns. Hardigan's gone to the Hawks. Malira's done. He's good. He's done his knee. Tyson Stengel, he's in trouble too with off-field trouble. Will he play or not? He's on the up. Taylor Walker needs to get better, the former captain. He needs to play better. Maybe the new rules will help him. Fogarty needs to play better. Jones isn't much. Frampton I'm not sure about. Let's come back and I'll do part 2 of the Adelaide Crows. I've got lots and lots to talk about. I could go negative of what's happened the last 3 years, but I won't. I'll stay as positive as I can. But trouble at the Adelaide Crows. Matthew Nicks taught them all sorts of lingo and confused them. Let's see who we got good that's left. Rory Sloane, the captain. He's a goer. Maybe getting a bit slow, according to one of the radio guys in Adelaide. Bernie Vince, I think, said that. Matt Crouch, good player, gets a lot of the ball. Needs to run a bit more, though. A bit stationary sometimes. Very good player, Matt Crouch. Rory Laird, what a goer. What a goer. He's probably my favourite Crows player right now. And his dad is, his dad treats my dad, a doctor or dentist, one or the other, down there near Victor Harbour. Rory Laird is a champion little player. And Lynch has been injured, but he is dedicated. He is a favourite of mine. Lynch for the Adelaide Crows. Riley O'Brien in ruck had a good year last year, so he's on the up. Brodie Smith, McKay, Taylor, Kelly and Searsman, they're all okay. So, Crows are in big trouble, big trouble. I see them finishing 17th. Let's hope they finish higher than that. And I tell you what they all need. They all need a good kick up the butt. They kick up the Jordan Butts. New player, Jordan Butts, might do all right as well. Hoping for the Adelaide Crows to do better. But, so much has gone wrong since they come runners-up in 2017 when they were minor premiers but got run over in that second half of that grand final by the Richmond Tigers. Let's hope the Crows can do well. The members need to get behind them. They got a new CEO, so things are going to be a bit rough for the Adelaide Crows for a few years. And what makes it even rougher is the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears, our rival, are really good. Adelaide Crows, I'm predicting to finish 17th out of 18th this season. I hope I'm wrong. Got smashed by the Power yesterday. Welcome to Myk as my AFL 2021 team previews continue. And I love this spot here in Edmonton. I love the big train bridge. We might get lucky and a train might go across here. Love engineering and this TV show now, Snowpiercer with the train. That's a good one as well. Well, in 16th spot, I'm going to say it's the Gold Coast Suns. And you'll see this orangey top I've got on. Similar colours, they're red and orangey. The Gold Coast Suns. Well, this is my umpire's jersey. So I've umpired here in Canada. It's a lot of fun, mostly but there's a few people that don't show respect for the umpires. A lot of people yell and scream at the umpires in Australia, so just show some respect, especially with the new rules coming in. All right, the Gold Coast Suns, they're 81-1 to win the Premiership. They were formed in 2008, and of course the legend, the little champ who just retired, Gary Ablett Jr., he was their big recruit up there several years ago before he returned home to Geelong. They're coached by Stuart Dew, and he's done well with the Suns. They've had some big, high draft picks in the last few years, and none better than Matthew Rao, who started the year sensationally. He was a top pick, and he starred in the first 4 or 5 games before he injured his shoulder. They have Noah Anderson, his mate as well, a very high draft pick. So look for some of these young kids to improve. Also, Jack Lukosius from South Australia, he's playing in defence right now. So they've got some good young kids up forward. They have Sexton, he's done well. Ainsworth, Isaac Rankin, another young kid, been a bit injury prone. He has got some skill. They're a bit light though. They're still a few years away from probably making a top 4 push. Hugh Greenwood played very well last year for them, the recruit from the Adelaide Crows. So look for some improvement by the Suns. They might get up to say 12th spot, but I'm picking them in 16th place. 15th spot, this hurts me to say it, they've been my favourite Melbourne-based team since I was a kid, is the Essendon Bombers. They went through the terrible drug scandal a few years ago, and they were disappointing last year. John Worsfold, the legendary coach from the West Coast Eagles, he is gone, and he's been replaced by Ben Rutten, the former Adelaide Crows player. They've lost some players. The Bombers, yes, like I said, I think they're going to drop this year. I hope they don't. Some of the stars I've lost is, of course, Joe Danaher, who's gone to the Brisbane Lions. They've also lost Adam Said, who's a very good player on defence, running through to the Carlton Blues. Orancio Fantasia has gone to the Port Adelaide Power, Pap Smears. Connor McKenna, the Irishman, he's gone home, retired. He actually tested positive for COVID, but we're not sure if it was a real positive or not. He just went out looking for a new house. So he caused a bit of trouble last year. Good player though. So McKenna's gone back to Ireland. Yeah, they've gained a few players. They're good players. They do have good on-ballers. Hempel, McGrath, the kid that was born in Canada and the #1 pick a few years ago, he is a very good player. Dylan Shield, who came across from the GWS a few years ago, he's a very good player. Merritt as well. Hooker and Hurley in defence, but sad to say, I can't see the Bombers going well this year. But they're one of these teams you just never know. If they stay fit and healthy, they might make the 8. But right now, I have the Bombers in 15th spot and 67-1. The glory days when I saw them win the 84 and 85 Premiership in Melbourne. We went across with the South Gawler Lions. Don't think there'll be a Premiership this year for the Bombers. Welcome to Myk Aussie.tv here on the edge of the Saskatchewan River in Edmonton. And the train's going across right now. You might be able to hear it. I love this place. Look at that, the water. Well, and we're looking for magpies. No magpies. Primo, I won't give you Collingwood Magpies 14th spot. But on the down, I believe it's the Hawthorn Hawks. I'll give 14th place this season. The legendary club, the great coach in Alistair Clarkson. Well, he told his players a few weeks ago to be careful and do these in the moderation. The 4 Ps, get this. The piss, the punt, the powder and the penis. Quickly, piss means booze in Australia. Punt is betting, so you don't want to bet too much. Powder, obviously the cocaine, you don't want to do that at all. And the penis, the pecker, you're going to keep that under control because John Patton, the recruit from GWS, last year was injured and he's got himself in some trouble with some of the ladies, the women in Melbourne. So watch for John Patton. He's got to behave. These boys in Melbourne, they get the hot women, the footballers, but they got to behave themselves. So the 4 Ps, as Alistair Clarkson said, do them in moderation, and the powder, you shouldn't do that at all. Anyway, they've lost some players. James Frawley's gone to the Saints. Harrison Jones has gone to the Bombers. Isaac Smith has gone to the Cats, and Ben Stratton has retired. They still have some very good on-ballers, including Shane Burgoyne. Oh, he's old. He's been around forever. He's a great player. Tom Mitchell, of course, the Brownlow medalist in 2018. Jager O'Meara is good as well. In defence, James Sicily. Oh, he causes some trouble. Oh, James Sicily. Jack Stunson. Chad Wingard's a good player. He's still out and about. Oh, Hartigan from the Crows. They've gained him from the Crows. But look for the Hawks to be average this year. They're a legendary club. Great team culture. Great coach. Bit too defensive. I don't think they'll be too good. 14th spot. The train's still going across. Love this spot. Well, I'm at the edge of the river, the Saskatchewan River, and there might be some swans. No, I don't think so. But the Swans, well, let's talk the Sydney Swans. They're on the up. I think they will finish in about 13th spot. They only had 5 wins last year. They got some good young players. Their star, Buddy Franklin. Lance Franklin, the former Hawk, who went to the Swans a few years ago on big money. He had a rough year with injury last year. He's going to miss round 1, but he is a star. He's getting old. They got some good on-ballers, including Kennedy, Luke Parker, and of course Isaac Heaney up forward or on the wing. He's a very good player as well. Oh, in defence they got Callum Mills and the goalpost climber. Yes, he climbed the post a year or so ago to try, and he wobbled the post to try and upset the player. He should have got in trouble for that. Dane Rampy, one of the co-captains of the Sydney Swans. They're on the up, but they will still struggle this year, maybe a year or 2 away from making the 8, coached by John Longmire, who helped them win the Premiership. Oh, they've had 5 flags, 2005 and 2012 were their latest. And as you'll see, I'm wearing the magnificent Swans jersey, but it is the Ottawa Swans jersey. Red and white, Canada's colours. Sydney Swans are a popular team. And I'll give a bit of a shout out to a fellow umpire, Jason Stratford, out there in BC. We were talking about doing some umpiring out east, maybe again one day. So yes, it was fun to umpire and help the Ottawa Swans a few years ago. Sydney Swans, 67-1 to win the Premiership. Like I said, they're on the up, but don't think they'll make the 8. 13th spot I'm predicting for the Sydney Swans. Welcome to MykAussie.tv as my 2021 AFL team previews continues. I'm outside the magnificent Commonwealth Stadium here in Edmonton, the home of the 1978 Commonwealth Games and the home of the Edmonton football team, formerly the Edmonton Eskimos, and now they are coming up with a new name, probably the Edmonton Elks, and let's hope this stadium is again full or half full in the 2021 CFL season after the CFL did not play in 2020. Oh, I better get this off. Better get this magnificent jersey jumper off. They might think I'm a Calgary Stampeder in one's red and white jersey. Talk about jerseys, good and bad. Well, I'm going to talk about a team who I think is the worst jersey, along with the Port Adelaide Power Papsmears. I think the Fremantle Dockers will finish in 12th spot. I actually like their team. They're on the up. I like their new coach, Longmuir, who played for the Dockers. They were formed in 1994. They are 51-1 odds to win the Premiership. No, they probably won't make the 8, although they're a chance. They've got some good players, led by, of course, the dual Brownlow medalist Nate Fyfe, who has the worst man bun wussy knob top knot, but he's tough, he's mean, he's a great, great player, Nate Fyfe. So look for him if you're new to the AFL to follow a player that's a star. They also have Michael Walters. He is on the up. He is a fantastic player. Michael Walters, David Mundy, the long-time player, is coming back for another year. I really liked Rory Lobb, who came across from the GWS. He played very well last year. Matt Taberner up forward as well. They've lost Jesse Hogan. He was a bit troubled over there. He's gone. Oh, you know what? They might push the 8. Probably not, but look for improvement from the Fremantle Dockers, and I like their style of play. And listen to Duff and Quarters podcast, fantastic from Perth. And in 11th spot, I am going for the Melbourne Demons. Oh, what a frustrating team they are. 1 year they're up. 2018, they went to the prelim final, got smashed by the Eagles, but they still went to the prelim. The next year they came nearly bottom. They haven't won a flag since 1964. They got 12 VFL flags in total. To a very traditional club, but they're so unpredictable. They have gained, of course, the star full forward Benny Brown from the North Melbourne Kangaroos, but he's out. He's out for the first 4 or so weeks after having an arthroscopic knee surgery. Wiedemann as well up forward. He is out. He's got a stress fracture in his leg, so it's up to Tom McDonald to perform up forward until Benny Brown gets back from injury. Oh, their star player. They're led by Tristan Petrarca. What a name, eh? What a player. Big, strong fella. So look for him if you're new to the game and see how big and strong and powerful and he carries the ball. He is a star. Christian Petrarca. They're on bowlers. Well, Clayton Oliver is good. Jack Viney's still playing. He went on some vegan diet or something like that. I don't know if he should have done that. He seemed to lose a bit of weight and not as strong or something. Heard that interview a while ago. And Nathan Jones is still playing. But their captain, Big Maxi Gawn, is a legend. He's a celebrity. The big fella with the big beard in ruck. He is a star. Big Max Gawn. Defence, they got Stephen May, recruited a few years ago, and then Jake Lever from the Crows as well. So they got some good players all over the field, but they're unpredictable. You just never know what you're going to get with the Melbourne Demons. Coach Simon Goodwin is going to be under some pressure. They had 9 wins last year, finished in 9th spot. This year they're 26-1 favourites to win the Premiership. I don't think they'll make the 8. But they might. You never know with the Demons. Well, it's been the Blues around here lately outside the Edmonton Commonwealth Stadium because there was no CFL. And my prediction for the 10th place is the Carlton Blues. This proud club with 16 premierships in the AFL/VFL, last in 1995. So a long time since this proud club has won a premiership. They've made some gains. New players include Lachlan Fogarty from the Cats, Adam Sard from the Bombers, he's a beauty, and Zach Williams from the Giants. He didn't play too many games at the Giants, but he has a ton of ability, so he could really be a good player this year for the Blues. They've lost Matt Cruiser, retired, and also Cade Simpson. Oh, their midfield is led by the star, the captain, Cripps. So look for him. The big fella in the middle is a fantastic on-baller, one of the best players in the AFL. Sam Walsh has been on the scene for a couple of years now. He is a star, the young fella. Eddie Betts, one of the best names in sport. Eddie Betts from the Crows. Well, he started at the Blues, then he went to the Crows. He's back at the Blues for probably the last year because he's getting old, but he has been a champion player. Eddie Betts, love him. Jack Silvani, the son of the legendary Stephen Silvani, he looks like he could be on the improve. Oh, Sam Doherty in defence as well, but I don't think they'll quite make the 8. They might surprise and make the 8, but look for the Carlton Blues to just miss the 8, finish in about 10th spot. So no more premierships this year for the proud club Carlton Blues. Welcome to MykAussie.tv as my 2021 AFL team previews continues. Hope you enjoyed some of the sights of Edmonton. Now you can find this 50-minute show on YouTube. Go to mykaussie.tv, find the link. You can also find it on audio-only podcast or poddy, or for the Americans, podcast. Search on Myk Aussie, Myk space Aussie, on Spotify, Castbox, Stitcher and Google Podcast. Whoa, there's magpies. No, there's no magpies right now here as we approach spring, but there will be magpies in this backyard tormenting my dog Lincoln. Oh, they do torment him, and they torment us in Australia, those magpies. Well, I'm picking them to miss the 8. I'm picking them in 9th spot, Fremo from Burnaby Eagles, back there in Melbourne, loves his magpies. Oh, I might be wrong, but I'll pick them in 9th. They have lost some players. They've had some off-field trouble, led by, of course, the resignation / pushing out of the long-time president, Eddie Maguire. Eddie, you know, he did a lot for that club, and the snowflake, woke, troll, PC, T-nut media, they just hound and go overboard. Sure, he said a few of the wrong things. Sure, some of the racism stuff was over the top during his presidency, but they should have just apologised, moved on, and apologised, and that was it. None of this internal reviews, just apologise and move on. So Collingwood has had some off-field trouble this season, including, of course, Adam Treloar. They pushed him out. They didn't want to pay him the big bucks, the contract he signed. He has gone to the Western Bulldogs. They have also lost Dwayne Beams, Jimmy Beams, he is retired, and Scharenberg, who I played with his dad at Flinders Park, he has also been delisted. Tom Phillips to the Hawks, the Collywobble Magpies we call them. Yes, they've won 15 flags, but they've lost a lot as well. The traditional club, the biggest club in Australia. Well, maybe West Coast Eagles has as many members. It'd be close, but Collingwood is very popular. People, they either love them or they hate them. Well, a couple of the more outs. Jaden Stevenson, he has gone to the Roos. He got caught betting on football, got suspended, so he has now sadly gone to the very low North Melbourne Kangaroos. Some of their good players, Jordan De Goey. If you're new to the AFL, watch this guy at full forward or up on the ball. He is a star, Jordan De Goey. Dacos has come in good. Pendlebury, the long-time captain, he is still playing amazing football. Absolute legend at the Magpies. Still Sidebottom, don't you love that name? Still Sidebottom. Well, he got in a bit of trouble a while ago drinking during COVID, but he is a star as well. Jamie Elliott, Brown, Adams, those guys need to improve a bit. And of course, the big fella from America in ruck, Mason Cox, who we've often talked about. He has re-signed again at the Magpies. He is massive and he's doing all right. He kicks the ball quite well. He judges it quite well. Mason Cox, he was a star in the prelim final a couple of years ago. And then they just lost to the West Coast Eagles in that grand final in 2018. Grundy in ruck is a great player from South Australia. In defence, Howe, the legendary, talk about up there, Kazali. You want to see someone that takes a lot of speckies, we call them, big marks? Jeremy Howe is back after doing his knee. Jordan Roughhead and Darcy Moore is also a star in the back lines. So the Collywobble Magpies, I might be wrong. They might have a great year. Injuries, trouble off field. I'm predicting them to come 9th. You never know though. I might be wrong on this one. Well, hope you enjoyed some of the sights of Edmonton. Been here 6 years. It's a friendly place. Looking forward to the CFL coming back. And the AFL, the Aussie football here with this beautiful Sharon starts March 18th. Injuries can mess up any team. So key injuries can teams with depth, especially with COVID and the uncertainty of travel and the borders. But looks like Australia's really got it under control. So hopefully we see lots and lots of people at the AFL games all over Australia. Special shout out to the people that have given me feedback on my podcast, my potties, including Marcus the 49er fan, Pete Taylor, for my former Burnaby Eagles defensive mate, played alongside Pete back in 05. Great fella, he's in Melbourne now. And anyone that's watched my movie Football Fan Frenzy sent me some reviews and ratings. I appreciate it all. Now, let's finish. We'll go back to the Alberta Aviation Museum with a new plane in the background, and I'll tell you who I think will make the AFL Grand Final. Let's have a great AFL season. Welcome to Myk here at the Alberta Aviation Museum with another plane in the background, and it is yellow, and I have the black and yellow Kobe Bryant great shirt on. Kobe's a legend. Well, I got to show some love to the black and yellow Richmond Tigers. I'm tipping them to again make the grand final. I'm tipping them to be runners up. They are 5.5 points to 1 favourites to win the grand final. They've won the 3 of the last 4. 2017 when they beat my Adelaide Crows, and they've been back-to-back since. The new running style of the new rules should help the Tigers. They're a quick, fast-moving team, and I've got to say I respect the way they play. Led by the champ, Dustin Martin, the tattooed man. You got Tom Lynch up forward, even though he's an agitator and he sticks his fingers and causes trouble. He's lucky he didn't get suspended more games last year. He got fined a few times. Oh, Julio is a champ in the back lines, running through the middle. He probably should have been best on ground in 2017. The coach, Damien Hardwick's been in the news. He left his wife and he's now with the physiotherapist, a young lady from the club. So will that cause trouble? Probably not. They're a tight-knit team, so I do respect the Tigers when I used to dislike them so much. I still don't like them, but I respect them. Shea Bolton was fantastic last year, so watch him as a talented, young, skillful player. Oh, Short was great in the grand final and all year. Broad, the photographer, yeah, if you want some photography done, contact Broad, because after the 17 grand final, he got in trouble for taking pictures of a hot young girl, topless. He got in trouble for that and suspended the next year for a few games. Tigers, I think they'll make the grand final. They might get off to a slow start. They might have a little bit of a hangover, probably not. Look for the Tigers to again be very good this year. I am picking, it hurts me to say this, I'm picking the Port Adelaide Power Pat Smears to finish top this year. They had depth last year and they have gained 2 good players. Alair, don't you love that name? It's spelt the same. His first and last name is spelt the same. The big fella's come across from the Swans. He'll be in their back lines, maybe a bit of ruck. And also Fantasia as well from the Bombers. He should just make their team. They have so many good forwards. They have a great on-ball group of players led by Boak. Oh, it really hurts me to say this, but they got some great young kids as well. Rosie, Dersma, Butters are the 3 they always talk about, and they got more coming through. Big Charlie Dixon at full forward was very good last year. Jonas in the back lines. As I said, they have a lot of depth, and they may win their 2nd AFL Premiership, and that would sadly mean they're equal with the Crows. But I got to take feelings out of it, and I do respect the way the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears play. They move the ball quick with skill, so thus with a quicker style this year with the new rule, I think the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears might go all the way and win the Premiership. Lots can happen, injuries can happen, I might be way off, but it's a general thought that the Power are going to be good. They have depth and they do have a good traditional team club, because the Port Adelaide Magpies in the SANFL won many premierships. Wait and see.